Hello, hello. I had to take myself off of mute there. How are you? How is everyone doing? I trust that you had an awesome holiday. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you celebrate any of that, I really hope that you had an amazing time with your friends or family, or even if you were, by yourself. Hi, even if you were by yourself, I trust that you had an awesome time, or maybe you made something nice for yourself. And for those of you who don't know, in America, we just had um, Thanksgiving. We just had Thanksgiving. So um, I just hope that everything was awesome, because we already know how the narcissist likes to critique your food and your cooking. You may have made the best and the most juiciest turkey, the best macaroni and cheese. You didn't even use the great value mac and cheese this time. That cheese, no, you used the good cheeses and all of that. And the narcissist would say, oh, this is disgusting. We know how they do. Hi, Breezy. Do me a favor in the chat. Make sure that you she said, yes, my family and I had a grand Thanksgiving. That's awesome. In the chat, make sure that you post and tell me where you're watching from. I'm also getting ready for another show that I will be going live tonight at 7:30, and it is titled Demonic Oppression and Narcissism. Okay, so look out for that tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I wanted to get on here because I'm just thinking something's wrong with the children. Something is wrong with the children. I don't necessarily know what. Well, I have an idea. And if you know me, you already know what I'm going to say. The problem is spiritual. But I believe there's more to it. So here in America, across multiple states, children are being arrested. And it's not because they didn't do anything wrong. They are being arrested because they're actually committing crimes. And these are not just petty crimes, such as, with truancy and everything like that, your parent is actually the one in trouble. But the children as young as 8, younger than 10, are being arrested because they are doing things and committing crimes such as, but not limited to, burglary, assault, SA. You already know what I'm talking about. I can't say it on here. Mind you, these are children young as 8 years old. They are cursing out teachers, hitting teachers. There was an assault that happened on a teacher where the teacher is actually incapacitated. There has been plenty of other assaults on teachers. And I'm just like, what is going on with the children? That's right. There's something going on with the children. Now, I don't really, necessarily know how else, other countries are dealing with an epidemic like this. But here in America, it is largely an epidemic with crimes that are being committed by very young children. And no, I am familiar with Canada. When I was in Canada, I did not hear so much as this level. Of course, everywhere there's crime, but on a level such as this, I have not heard of it in other places. What about you? Maybe have you heard about this in your country, wherever you're listening? And it leads me to think, what is going on? And, we have a comment. Breezy says, because parents are not parenting. And I 100% agree. And, it makes me think about how, as I'm a former teacher, as you may know, I can attest to what is being done in the classroom. The students are rowdy, not only rowdy, we're going to take this another level. I would say the students are intimidating. The students are intimidating and they lack respect. They lack just regular social norms, things that you know as a child not to do. So, there's a level of, okay, well, maybe, yeah, they're very disrespectful and they lack empathy as well. I'm just trying to figure out, how did this happen? When did this happen? It wasn't so much prevalent like this maybe how many years ago? 5, maybe 5 years ago? Definitely wasn't as prevalent 10 years ago. Students actually fighting teachers to the point where teachers are ending up either leaving the profession that they love or being fought when you do go to work. And of course, yes, we want to say most, not all, of course. All students, of course, are not bad, definitely. But majority, especially when you get to definitely inner cities, definitely. And that was at least my experience. I cannot talk for everyone, but let me just be honest. If anyone is telling you, yeah, I taught in an inner city school, and I had absolutely no problem with any of the students, no problem with any of the parents, no problem with any of the staff, they're lying. They're lying. That's bold-faced lie. And I don't know why people just don't tell the truth. I don't get it. Just tell the truth and shame about 4 or 5 devils. Just put them to shame. Just stop it. Stop. How the kids say, stop the cap and just stop. Right? So we have an influence of children that are, what I said, do they know what they're doing? Do they know that they are causing so many problems in the classroom? I believe, yes, they do. But it's mainly, of course, the parents' fault. And I do agree with you when you say that they're not being parented. They're really not. They're not. And at least from my experience, because I taught at inner city schools and schools that are not Title I, I should say, they get no government assistance. There was a drastic difference. Do they both have their challenges? Of course they do. Which one would I pick? I'll let you decide, right? So when you're dealing with these children that have a lack of respect for teachers as well as education, they're getting that from the home. I will never forget where there was a student who didn't like how I presented the assignment, and the student cheated on the assignment. So of course they get what? F. Nowadays you can't even get an F without someone calling the authorities because they got an F. Okay, they cannot take that rejection. But yeah, I gave the student an F. And not only did the student, I also gave them a chance to redeem themselves, which was to, hey, do the assignment over and let's see what you get. I thought it was fair. The student actually thought it was fit to bring their mother and their mother's girlfriend to come and fight me, the teacher. Yeah, true story. So I can definitely understand where there is a total lack of respect for teachers, a lack of respect for education, and there is absolutely just flat out no home training. There's no morals being taught, especially these days where we're living at a time where you can't say anything wrong, or you can't even give a child an F on the paper without them saying, oh, well, that's not politically correct. Or they may say, well, that's kind of harsh. If you just, yeah, that's right. Breezy said, it's so sad. There's no accountability for anything. That's right. There is no accountability. And that is how this all ties into NPD. You have to understand that these children are going to grow up. Everyone grows up. So you have an entitled child that has no parenting. And if they do have some type of parenting, it's not how the discipline should be. I'll say that, because everybody has different ways to parent their children. But when you have a child that has no accountability for their actions, that's where the problem leads. And it's extremely sad that these children are going to grow up with that same attitude as, you know what, I can do what I want to do. There's no consequence. There's no real consequence. Because, all of the parenting and the excuses that people come up with for these children, they're not holding the behavior accountable, right? They're not holding anyone accountable. The behavior is not being held accountable, any of that. And I wanted to, get on here because I'm just, I'm writing for the show at 7:30. And I'm like, with these children that are being sent to juvie, there has to be some type of accountability, and you have to stop making excuses for poor behavior. There has to be a time where we as parents or caregivers stop making excuses for children's poor behavior, because these children grow up. They grow up and they feel like they're entitled to anything. They're untouchable. And we don't want to grow up, or we don't want to have a person around us who thinks they're untouchable, because that means they think they can get away with anything. And that can't be the case. That can't be the case. Okay. So, yeah, what do you guys think? You comment in the chat. I'm looking here now. Yes, I mean, I don't know why people just want to tell the truth about this whole thing. Yep, no accountability for anything. It's sad. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There is no accountability. And it truly is sad where, the teachers, when you go through all of that schooling, and I mean, no matter how you do feel about teachers, and I will flip the other coin, because I do know bad teachers. I do know terrible, horrible teachers where they don't care. They're just in it to get the summers off and still get paid. We know that to be true. But do you go to send your child to school to fight the teacher? Do you go to send your child to school to assault other children and touch inappropriately other children? You don't do that, right? Yes, it's very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And yeah, the parents are not parenting, unfortunately. And then, we have, different family dynamics. A lot of, if you have bio children or stepchildren, foster children, whatever the dynamic is, there has to be some type of accountability for the child. You have to start off really early, because this is one way a narcissist grows up, with no accountability. They grow up entitled. Everyone has to bow down to them. They're not told no. And if they are told no, it's just for a brief moment where they just, I could just make him or her change your mind. She'll eventually. No, you stick to your guns with this. Stick to your guns with this. Okay. I am going to start more talking about the epidemic that's going on with these children. I'm just reading the chat also. And of course, if you've been sticking with me for a while, you know that I did start out doing videos geared for parents who have unruly or children that have questionable behaviors. A little about me, my teaching degree is actually special education. My doctorate is special education with the emotional behavioral concentration. And when I did teach, I taught science with an EBD, which is emotional behavior disorder concentration or classroom. I'm sorry. Yeah, she says, and they get away with it at home thinking the world is like that. Right. That's right. Now I have to get off of here and I need to get ready for tonight at 7:30. If anyone, can you just, support your girl? Make sure you get on, hit that like button, share the content. It's just been so crazy in this YouTube streets, the internet. You already know. Look, I am here just to spread a message. I don't get caught up into what anybody else has going on. I don't get caught up in any of that. I'm just here to spread a message. I'm not looking for clout. I'm not looking for any of that. I'm just here to spread a message. And I know that the Most High will exalt this page. He will rise this page. He will bring this page up. And I'm not really too worried about it. But at the same time, I would like people to hit the like button. It's free to hit the like button. It's free to share. It's free to leave a comment. You never know, your comment might help somebody. And make sure that you tune in 7:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Oh, yeah, she says they get away with it at home and think the world is like that. That's right. That's right. This is what happens when, should I say this? I'm talking to myself. This is what happened. Like, we talk about how narcissists have children just to keep the other party around. This is what happens. You have a bunch of children, right, that are all in this classroom. One or both of the parents is a narcissist. They go home. There's no parenting involved. There's no education involved. There's no emphasis on the importance of respect. So they go to school thinking, hey, I can do what I want to because who am I going to answer to? There's no one to answer to. This is what happened when these narcissists have children and these children grow up. There's no accountability. That's right. Listen, I'm like, should I say that? Because, when you talk about narcissism and children, it's a touchy subject because no one wants to think, oh, not my child. Yes, your child. Yes. You have to parent them. There's a lack of discipline there. These little kids are growing up now. They're growing up and they're not being used to the word no. They can do whatever they want to with no consequence. You tell a little kid now, I'm going to call your mother. They don't care about that. They'll say, call my mama. She ain't going to do nothing with the neck roll. Yeah. Listen, I have to get off of here and I want everyone to listen to this message and look, put your foot down on these children. There are so many states just in America that they are running amok. And one quick last story. I remember one of the kids on my caseload. He actually assaulted his mother. This is when I taught, I won't even say the grade, but this was younger than high school. How about that? He assaulted his mother. Of course, parole officers had to come for this caseload that I had. The children were just off the charts. And when you're dealing with a child that's only 11, 10 years old, 12-year-old, who's assaulting an adult, especially the mother, hitting them, throwing them down the stairs, pushing them down the stairs, push her off a flight of stairs. He went to the the juvenile facility, did his time in juvie, had to have a parole officer come to the classroom, or, just to check on him and everything. And guess what? They have to send that child back home. Why? He's under 18. See, there's a loophole here where these little kids are assaulting people, but technically that's still your child. So some of these parents are living in fear because they have nowhere to go. They're being tormented by these little children, and they have nowhere to go, nowhere to turn to, that no one could take them. They tell people you have to pay for these types of, facilities, or, they may be full. No one could take them. Where does that child go? They go back home. They have to go back home. They're under 18, and you as a parent, you still have custody. Isn't that a trip? Yeah, I had to get on here because it's been a lot with the children assaulting other children, as well as the teachers and parents. Okay, so we also I'm going to go back off and get ready for tonight's show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Listen, share this message. It is free to share. Share this message. Share this video, and tell me your experience, especially if you have worked with children, you are a nanny or a foster parent, you have your own children. Make sure that you're sharing your experience, okay? All right, I'm off of here. Bye.